Surf, sun, and sand, great food, a Ferris wheel, rides, games, a music stage, classic cars, and fun. That's what's in store for you at the Misquamicut Spring Festival, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, May 13th, 14th, and 15th at Misquamicut State Beach. On the shores of Westerly, Rhode Island, the Misquamicut Spring Festival is a great way to start the 2022 beach season. For more information, log on to MisquamicutFestival.org. Misquamicut Springfest.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Misquamicut Beach Show. I'm Ben Barber. I'm your host, and we are having another Springfest preview. Easy for me to say. I am so excited because today I am talking to Jeff Allen Ross and Bill Cinque about their show that's coming up Saturday night, 6:45 to 8:15 at Springfest. One of the headliners. I'm very excited about it. The Badfinger / Beatles / British Invasion Brothers. Chances are that you've heard and seen Jeff and Bill together. They worked with Jerry and the Peacemakers. I'm so sorry, I messed that up. Peter and Gordon, Steve Martin, and a whole host of others. No strangers to Westerly either. Jeff and Bill, thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate you. And Bill, this is my first time meeting you. Jeff, I spoke to you last year. Thank you for coming to Westerly. We're really excited about it.
Oh, we're excited about coming.
Yeah, we're glad to be back. It's been, I can't even think of how many years, probably 4, maybe even 5 years since we've been there. And we love Springfest. We love Misquamicut. So we're glad to be back.
Well, I'm glad that you guys are back, and I love you guys will be playing the Badfinger Beatles British Invasion Brothers music. I love that so much. Big fan. I didn't realize that I was such a Badfinger fan until Joey Mullen came and I interviewed him, and I re-listened to all of the music that I listened to with my dad when I was a kid, and I listened to it. I started with my dad when I was a kid, and then I listened to it, like I still listened to it, and like Baby Blue is one of my favorite songs, but I didn't I had never like put 2 and 2 together until like 4 years ago when he came. So I'm really excited about this. Tell us a little bit about, how long you guys have been playing together.
25 years, Bill?
Something to that effect, yeah.
Am I close?
Yeah, we met on a New Year's Eve gig. I'm not even sure of the date. Was it 94, something like that? And it was an absolutely atrocious gig. It really was. It really, that's a whole different podcast. It'll take us another hour to talk about that, but it was absolutely atrocious. But, you heard Jeff was great right away. And the next day we called each other and said, hey, last night was no indication of what either one of us is capable of doing. Maybe we can look into this. So we started doing gigs, and we've done everything from, really my favorite story that kind of encapsulates everything that Jeff and I do is we've done a lot of small clubs and wine bars and cafes and things. And some years ago, I think it was 2008, we literally played Carnegie Hall and a happy hour in Los Angeles in less than 24 hours. On a Tuesday night, we played the greatest stage in the world at Carnegie Hall with Peter and Gordon. Got on the early flight in the morning, came back, and I think it's 6 p.m. We're playing on Ventura Boulevard in Los Angeles. So that's a lot of what you need to know about the two of us. Have gigs with travel.
I think that's beautiful. I really do. I think that's kind of that's the life you want, right? Like I think that's you want the highs, and then but the wine bar is like just as in a different way. Like that's a really fun atmosphere and something that you can't do. I think that's beautiful. Truly. And you guys have had Carnegie Hall, Madison Square Garden, Hollywood Bowl. I mean, you've played everywhere and with everyone, and it's fantastic. Bill, you toured with Neil Diamond as well, right?
Yeah. From 2014 into 2018, which is when he retired. And
are you the reason he retired?
the only reason a lot of people retire. Yeah, Neil Diamond was the greatest gig ever for anyone. And it was interesting. The minute I got that gig, I started getting phone calls from all of our friends who are producers and record company executives and session guys. And they all called me and said, you don't know how lucky you are, because he's not just a great rock star with great songs. He is a great guy with a class act, top to bottom. And it was, certainly 4 of the greatest years of my life.
Awesome. That's really cool. You guys talked about playing with Peter and Gordon, Carnegie Hall. Jeff, you can be heard every single week with Peter Asher on From Me to You.
Sirius XM Channel 18, the Beatles channel.
Absolutely. There you
Thursday.
go. And between the two of us, I don't think that my plug for your plug on my show for your show is going to do as well. Anyway,
that's okay. Totally fine.
I think that's probably a little bit more high profile.
You don't realize the reach you have, and that's the problem.
That's true. I don't.
You're minimizing yourself. Trust me.
I'm a very powerful man. But you guys will in addition, earlier in the week next week before you play Springfest, you will be at the United Theater in Westerly, playing with Peter Asher. Tell us a little bit about that show.
Well, that's the Peter Asher, a memoir of the 60s and beyond. We've been doing the show since Gordon passed away in 2009. We started doing the show in 2010. This edition of the show is different than what we've done in the past. Over the last couple of years, we've done some changes. Peter still talks a lot and tells a lot of stories, and we play all the Peter and Gordon hits. But we're excited to come back to Westerly because we've never done Peter's show in Westerly because the United Theater didn't exist prior to this. Yeah. So we're really looking forward to going to downtown Westerly and actually going into a very cool little theater. I've seen some pictures of it, and it seems like it's going to be a great experience for everybody. So
I took a little tour inside the United about a month ago, and I had been in before it had been completely finished, but it is so gorgeous now. And then we saw the Milk Carton Kids, which kind of feel like which almost feel like a modern day Peter and Gordon style.
Exactly.
I
think they're like Simon and Garfunkel. I think
they really are. Yeah,
generation Simon and Garfunkel.
They really are. I had I made a comment to Tony, the executive or the artistic director over there. For years, the sign on the marquee, when it said, the United's coming soon, it'll be here in 20 years. It took a very long time. It always said Simon and Garfunkel reunion, and we always laughed about that when we walked by because that's what they put on the fake marquee outside. And then Milk Carton Kids, I was like, this is about as close as you'll get to that. But definitely, I'm so excited. This is going to be one of the most prestigious things that's been on that stage. I don't know what it did in the 30s and 40s and stuff, but since it reopened, this show with the both of you and Peter Asher is very prestigious and such a wonderful thing to come to Westerly. And I'm glad that you guys are staying through the weekend and playing for us at Springfest, because we're going to absolutely love it. And there's nothing like a party at the beach.
Exactly. Well, we're not quite staying through the weekend. We have to drive to New Jersey to do a show on the Friday night and then drive back. But Bill and I are more than happy to do that because, again, we love Springfest.
Everybody in the tri-state area that's going to come to Springfest, come on Saturday from 6 to 8, because these two men are going to be in town and then drive to New Jersey and then come back just to play for you again. That's fantastic. That's dedication. That is, man, that's great. It's less of a, it's not Carnegie Hall a wine happy hour. But it's nice. Neither of those places are Carnegie Hall, is my point. But anyway, although the United is great. What is your favorite thing about the show that the two of you do right now? The show that we'll be getting at Springfest with the Badfinger and Beatles and British Invasion.
Well, I can tell you that my favorite thing is there's nobody I like singing with more than I like singing with Bill. And when the two of us sing together, I think something special happens. A lot like the Milk Carton Kids. You get two guys that sing well together, and it's just a little bit of magic. And that's what I always look forward to. And what we know, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of songs. So who knows what may occur and what we might pull out at the last minute, but there'll certainly be Beatles, and there'll be Badfinger and probably a few Jerry and the Pacemaker songs. And yeah, we'll see what happens.
It is Jerry.
We say who knows because we certainly don't.
Yeah, no idea.
I think that's the best. I think that's when two people know each other that well, and there's such a rapport, and there's such a huge catalog that you can choose from. I think that's where magic really happens, and I'm excited to be there and hear it and see you guys in person on Saturday night. So I'm ecstatic about that. I would be remiss if I did not ask about Bill. You were nominated for a Grammy for a Broadway show. Is that correct? Do I have that right? Am I wrong? Is there something?
Is there something I don't know about, Bill?
Is there something that I don't know? What did you?
I'm having trouble hearing you, Jeff. I'm hearing Jeff Bennett. Relay what Ben just asked.
He asked if you were nominated for a Grammy for a Broadway show.
No, I was not. And Jeff did much more work on this show than I did. But what you might be referring to is Bright Star. The
Steve Martin, Edie Brickell
musical.
Yes.
That we both worked on. We did a lot of the demos for them. And then I did a lot of extra work on Steve and Edie's album. So
of course you did.
But we weren't nominated for it. Well, we were nominated for being, the guys that will do anything Peter asks. But short of that, I wish we had been. But
well, all right. Well, let's put it this way, Ben. If you're gonna
I'm gonna give you guys all of the credit for this. By the way, I'm gonna give you all of the credit for it.
Well, no, you can just refer to us. Just refer to us as the guys that have not been nominated yet. And, we'll see what happens in the next 35 years.
There it is. I think that, so I am not surprised by that story. I'm not surprised by any of these stories. The two of you are, and by the way, I'm sorry about getting the technical aspects of that wrong. I'm going to blame Caswell and throw him under the bus, as I do for everything.
As well you should.
As well I should. He's terrible. But I'm
yeah.
But I am happy that he's bringing you guys down because that's a fantastic show. And so what was it like is there a way to pick a favorite? And Peter's not going to hear this. I know that he's coming over to your house, Jeff, in about an hour, but he's not hearing this now. There's no way he's going to listen to this. Who's your favorite artist that you guys have ever worked with?
Oh,
who's the what?
Who's your favorite
artist that we've ever worked with?
Yeah, but pick favorites, guys.
But other than Peter, which is
let's go other than Peter.
It would
Jeff.
be hard
That's
to
a very
say a
safe way to go.
I would say the person who impressed both of us in the first 30 seconds that they were ever on stage was Jerry Marsden, the late great Jerry Marsden from Jerry and the Pacemakers.
Yeah.
We hadn't met him. We hadn't rehearsed with him. That's how we do most of our gigs with Jeff and I, have a band and we're off and running and there's no rehearsal. We met Jerry at a sound check He literally walked on stage, kind of waved to us, and sang 30 seconds of one song and said, okay, this is great. And he knocked it out of the park. He was perfectly on pitch, perfectly in tune, knew exactly the volume was great, the tone was great. And I will remember that forever. As far as a favorite artist, we probably have 20 favorite artists for different reasons. But.
That moment, I too will never forget that moment, because Bill and I looked at each other across stage and went, okay, this is going to be fun. This is going to be good, because he used to do over 200 shows a year, so he was completely in shape, and he just sounded great. It's very true.
That's awesome. I think that I'm tempted to ask the opposite of that, right? Because at some point you're going to go in and not rehearse with the artist, and they're going to be terrible. And I would never ask you that on air, who actually would be a bad example of that. But have there been bad stories of things, obviously you go in and you're prepared and and you're ready to go, and then things just don't pan out?
Well, I have the thing that definitely I will mention names, because it started out as bad as it could be, and it ended up turning into where we basically are today. And that is Gordon Waller. The first time we played with Gordon, this was before we had met Peter. We did a gig with Gordon up in Northern California, and I had just flown in from the UK. I had been on tour with somebody, and I flew in. We did a rehearsal. We got to the gig, and Gordon never showed up at the gig. He actually got too drunk and never showed up on stage. And we thought, never going to work with this guy again. That's all over. What? We didn't have anything nice to say about him. And I think it was 2 years later, or a year and a half later, Peter's manager, Keith Putney, called me up and said, Peter and Gordon have reunited. Do you want to put together a band? And the thought of working with Peter Asher was just more than I needed. And I just said, well, yeah. And of course, it turned out we spent a lot of time with Gordon, and Gordon was great. He was smart, intelligent. He was fun. He was just a great guy, and we loved him dearly. So it went from as bad as it could be to turning into the Peter and Gordon gig. And then after Gordon passed away, things still roll on with Peter. So
I love that. That's a great great story. And I think that
it's very inspirational to it's somewhat inspirational to some of the younger artists out there, because what it does tell them is it might be a good idea to get stinking drunk on your first gig, and because this is what can happen. So kind of a public service announcement, if you will.
That's right. You can rebound. It's okay.
That's true. Yes. Not only can you rebound, Jeff, but I think Bill's saying it's a good idea to get in the bad place. We don't condone any of that. There is, however, now a beer and wine tent at Springfest next to the music, just for anybody that's interested in going and partaking in some adult fun. I'm so honored to get a chance to talk to both of you. This is, you are beyond world-class musicians and genuinely wonderful people. And thank you so much for coming and spending the time with me right now. And thank you so much for coming next Saturday from 6:30 to 8 p.m., 8:30, whatever the time is, Saturday night to grace the stage of Springfest and be one of the headliners. And I'm very excited about the show at the United as well. If Caswell will give me the day off from recording all of these shows for Springfest, I will definitely try to check that out, because who would want to miss that? So I will put links to the show at the United and obviously links to MisquamiCutFestival.org in the show notes for everybody. Anything that the two of you would like to leave with before we go?
I wish someone would tell me how to spell Misquamicut. That's what I would.
MIS.
That's
you're
as
right.
far as I got.
You're right.
Then I just said Rhode Island. I just made it easy.
So
I just keep telling people when they ask for directions, I said, if you hit Maine, you've gone too far.
Yeah.
Yes. You can say westerly.
Yeah.
That's a great cheat. You can just say westerly.
Hey, the fact that we can even
I said that, but
the fact that we can even pronounce Misquamicut is I think is a win for everyone.
I've been doing the Misquamicut Beach stuff for like 7 years, and I still have to look at my phone and just pray that autocorrect got it right. Because your phone learns, if you keep spelling something the same way. And now, but like you asked, how do you spell Misquamicut? And Jeff got it quicker than I did. It just, I'm terrible at my job.
Well, I came in 10th at the Madison, Wisconsin citywide spelling bee when I was in the 6th grade. So spelling is good. As long as there's no math, I'm good. Spelling, not a problem.
And it you know what? It's wonderful. I would love to talk to you guys for a really long time, but I don't want to take up any more of your time. So please come back to Westerly and Misquamicut at some other point in the future. So we have a chance to do this again. You can catch them Thursday night at the United Theater with Peter Asher and Saturday night at Springfest. And if you're in New Jersey, because some people listen to this from all over the Northeast, check them out. Where on Friday?
We are at the Vogel at the Count Basie Center in Red Bank, New Jersey.
Awesome. Very cool. And Jeff, where can people listen again to From Me to You on Thursdays?
Sirius XM, the Beatles channel 18. I think it's on, I always get confused because we're on the West Coast, but I think it's on at 9 p.m. on the East Coast. I don't know. I think.
All right. Well,
that's my guess.
Look it up.
And they run it all weekend too. They run a repeat on Saturday and Sunday.
Of course they do. It is one of the, when I had Sirius in my old car and the first time that I ever talked to you guys 2 years ago or something at this point, I started listening to it immediately, and it's just the best show. And Peter's such a wonderful storyteller, and you're going to get all of that live on stage on
Absolutely.
Thursday. So check out the United Theater. So thank you both. Bill, it was a pleasure to meet you. Absolutely. I can't wait to hear you guys in person.
My pleasure.
And Jeff, always wonderful. Thank you guys so much. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Allen Ross and Bill Cinque. Did I say it right? No. Bill, did I say it right or wrong?
I can't hear you.
Did I say it right or wrong? Your name. All right. I'm going to say that I said it right. Thank you, Bill. All right. Here we go, guys. We'll see you next time.
Surf, sun, and sand, great food, a Ferris wheel, rides, games, a music stage, classic cars, and fun. That's what's in store for you at the Misquamicut Spring Festival, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, May 13th, 14th, and 15th at Misquamicut State Beach. On the shores of Westerly, Rhode Island, the Misquamicut Spring Festival is a great way to start the 2022 beach season. For more information, log on to MisquamicutFestival.org. Misquamicut Spring Fest.